Well, you may be thinking that this weather is not for the faint of heart, but it's actually this traffic jam that is not for the faint of heart. We are here at the bottleneck that is I-35W and 494, and what you see are thousands of Minnesotans wasting their time, wasting their energy, wasting their precious resources stuck in traffic. And it is not, hopefully there won't be an accident today, which would cause everybody to waste more time, energy, and money. This interchange worked great in the 1950s when it was designed and built. But that was 53 years ago, and a lot has changed since then. Today, usually around 290,000 Minnesotans go through this area every single day. And what you have here are parents taking their kids to daycare, students trying to get to school, and businesses from all over Minnesota trying to get their products into and out of the metro area as efficiently as possible. And what you see is really one of the top 20 worst traffic jams in the country. And it doesn't have to be this way. This is a choice that we're making. We can either continue to live with this, this traffic, this lost time and money, or we can do something about it. It's not complicated, but it is not easy because we have to get real about how much it's going to cost to do something about it. So the governor has proposed a package of investments that will fix this bottleneck and also fix hundreds of projects all across the state, roads, bridges, and transit systems. And what we have done is we've proposed how much it will cost, what exactly we will fix, and what we will get in return for it. So I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Zelli to tell us a little bit more about this project and how we can make it much better.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, and thank you all for coming out on this brisk day. This is a perfect day to show this congestion, and also the kind of day where we're incubating potholes. I hate to say it, the weather in Minnesota, when it gets 10 below one day and 24 degrees the next, wait for spring. There's deterioration of our roads. But this interchange is a perfect place to consider the governor's transportation proposal. 35 and 494 interchange is actually one of the top 20 busiest intersections in the entire United States. Not LA, not Chicago, not New York, right here in Minnesota, in the top 20 of congestion. There's roughly, on average, 34 hours each week that there's congestion. And likewise on 494, going this way, 30 hours of congestion every week. The sooner we get to this project, the faster we can address this issue. This is really critical for employees getting to their jobs, for freight movements coming through this artery. There might be coming from many parts of the state, coming through the metro area. They'll pass through this interchange. If we do nothing, I assure you, traffic will get worse. And this project currently is not on any funding plans because the money simply is not there. The governor's transportation proposal will address many other interchanges just like this. It addresses the deterioration of our roadways, but also really important strategic capacity improvements. Okay, what does that mean? That actually means we are engineering additional lanes, not everywhere, but in areas where it really makes a difference. We're being responsible with taxpayers' funding. We know that it is integrated with local funding. The governor's transportation bill includes funding that goes to local governments, as well as local transit throughout the state of Minnesota, and it is an integrated system. And I know Chairman Dunnick will tell you about that soon. But at the current levels, again, we will not see the levels of strategic expansion because, quite honestly, we do not have enough funding just to maintain the system we have. Over the next 10 years, even with current funding, beyond current funding, there will be an additional 4,000 miles of pavements that will reach its useful life. These roads will have a service life of 0 within the next 10 years without additional funding. Thank you, Representative. I have traveled all around the state of Minnesota, and I assure you there's one thing that I hear in common, and that is we have to act now. The need is now, and if we wait any longer, it'll not only get to be much more expensive, the condition of our system will erode to a point where even the costs will start to accelerate at a geometric rate. So thank you very much. And now Chair Dunnick will have a few words.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Zelle and Lieutenant Governor Smith and other guests here. It's a beautiful day in our region, as always. And I just want to say a few words. You know, we are fortunate to live in a state and a region that the past generations have invested in our transportation infrastructure, and now it's time for us. We are at that same crossroads where we have to decide if we're going to do the same to invest in our transit system as well as our roads and bridges around the state and in this region. I want to touch on two things. One is how integrated the two systems are. The transit system, 80% of the trips on our transit system are taken via bus and travel on the roadways. So clearly the systems need to be planned and implemented and operated together. And Commissioner Zelle and I have worked on that, our staffs have worked on that, and the plan that the governor has put forward makes that a huge priority to continue to make those two systems work together seamlessly. Secondly, I just want to touch on what's known as the Orange Line, which is a proposed BRT route which will run on I-35W. Currently, it is the top taken bus highway BRT corridor in the region of over 14,000 trips a day. And we know that demand will increase by over 50% in the next 25 years. We need to have this Orange Line route built and prepared and continue to build out the entire transit system if we are going to plan for the growth that the region expects and continue to have a regionally competitive economy nationwide and worldwide. So again, it's imperative that we take a look at the transportation initiatives in front of us and make an important choice here in this region, in this state. And now I want to turn over to the Mayor of Richfield.
Good morning and thank you. And I want to thank the Lieutenant Governor and I want to thank the Commissioner for being here and our representatives. Other mayors are here, a host of folks from the city of Bloomington and Richfield. Thank you so much. You know, we're really excited about the fact of looking at a real comprehensive budget here. One of the issues that mayors have known for a long time is we need something that's long-term sustainable. We have the problems of the congestion that you can see the taillights going on right behind me. This is something the mayor of Bloomington, my friend here, and myself see all the time. And the backups on the 494 corridor. This hurts our businesses. This hurts our ability to expand. But this really, really means a difference to people's quality of life. The mayors of the metropolitan area and even a lot of our outstate mayors support a long-term sustainable bill that not only addresses this, but addresses the city streets. All our city streets, we know, are crumbling and potholes are everywhere there too. And it's too expansive for cities to take on all by themselves. When the governor's bill addresses all these great avenues, we need a long-term solution, and I think at this time the gas tax is our best bet to do it, and I think mayors will all be behind this and supporting the governor's bill. Thank you, Mayor.
Well, good morning. I'm Gene Winstead, Mayor of the City of Bloomington, and I'd like to really welcome all of you today to Bloomington. We always want to see people stopping in the City of Bloomington, but candidly, not like this, not on the freeway, not being able to enjoy other amenities of our city. I just would like to commend the governor for really putting forth a plan that does identify then and prioritize the needs of the state of Minnesota. So I'm glad to see that coming forward, and I think what's on the table now is something that can work for the city of Bloomington, for the city of Richfield, and really for the whole region, especially those, our friends south of the river, who really are the ones who are jammed up and aren't able to utilize the freeway system and the roads that they were intended to be used. So thank you for being here, and I'd like to again commend the governor for putting forth a plan that can work.
Thank you, Mayor Winstead. It's a great day to be here today, but what is very critical...
Just announce, tell them who you are.
Oh, I'm sorry, Maureen Scallon-Failer. I'm the president of the Bloomington Chamber of Commerce. Thank you very much. What is so imperative and critical for businesses in our area and in the region is to have adequate transportation infrastructure. Not only is that important to move goods and services throughout our area in the region, but also for workforce. If we don't have strong, adequate, efficient infrastructure, businesses will have a very challenging time to attract quality workers to our area. We would like to applaud the governor, MnDOT, the city of Bloomington, and all the other parties for their investment in transportation funding when funding right now for this particular arena is so scarce. Thank you very much. I'd now like to turn it over to Representative Lincheski.
Good morning. The faces of all of you are so interesting. Everybody's gritting their face. I'm Ann Lincheski, and I'm in the Minnesota House, and I just want to very quickly say that as the chief author of this legislation for a long time, I want to thank Governor Dayton. We really haven't talked about Governor Dayton. It is such an honor to have the Lieutenant Governor Tina Smith with us today. It's so delightful. And to have Commissioner Zelle here, who is working so hard for all Minnesotans. And Chair Dunnick, congratulations, and wonderful to have you here. But really, the thanks goes overwhelmingly to Governor Dayton. He has heard the region, he has heard the suburbs. We have so many mayors and elected officials here from the city councils and the Met Council standing here. This has been the #1 priority for the suburbs and the region for 20 years. And Governor Dayton, just thank you so very much. Oh, and now I'd like to introduce the Senate author of the bill, Senator Melissa Wickland.
There's two Melissas. Thank you. I'm Melissa Wickland, state senator for this district. I'm very happy to be here today and happy to have all of the elected officials. Lieutenant Governor, thank you for coming. Chair Dunnick and Chairman Zelle. And thank you all for being here. This is such an important project to our district, and I hope that this is the year that we get started on it. It means so much. It's a terribly high congestion area for Bloomington and Richfield, and all of the commuters that come through our district. So thank you all for being here, and I hope the project goes forward. Thank you. Oh, and next to speak is Senator Melissa Franson, who is on the Transportation Committee.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm the other Melissa that represents the other part of Bloomington. I'm Melissa Franson. I represent Edina, West Bloomington, Eden Prairie, Minnetonka, and I take this route a lot to the Capitol like today. So I'm certainly one of those thousands of people who rely on this transit way to make sure that we get to our goods and services and ourselves to work. I want to speak on behalf of the Senate. I am co-author of the Senate Transportation Bill, which is very similar to the governor, so we're really encouraged that we are aligning ourselves with the investments that we need for our state. We're certainly going to make this our top priority in the Senate, and I can't speak for the entire committee, but those of us who are part of that transportation bill are really going to work hard for all the investments that we need for our entire state. In particular, this is our first priority for the representatives of Bloomington and in the region in the western suburbs, so we'll work hard and certainly are taking our job very seriously. Last week the committee went on a roadshow to really understand the implications of transit and transportation overall needs in our state. This Friday we're going to go again to Albert Lee and Red Wing, so we're going to continue to look at the investments that are needed in our state, to talk to stakeholders, to talk to the people and residents and citizens, because we need to educate people on the investments that are needed. At the end of the day, we're paying for those, and we want to make sure that we're getting the information that people need, and we have a conversation about what's eventually what we're going to come up with as a package that we're going to move forward in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, and hopefully signing it by the governor this year. So we're looking forward to making that happen. Thank you.
We'll go ahead and take questions now.